Federal Drive is presented by GEHA, Government Employees Health Association, proudly providing health and dental benefits to federal employees and their families. Visit GEHA.com.
The Senate wrapped up 2025 by confirming 97 Trump appointees, bringing the total to 417 for his second term, a move that restores some predictability for industry and speeds up acquisition decisions. From procurement momentum to defense modernization, PSC is tracking the trends that will shape the year ahead. Joining us to break it down is Jim Carroll, President and CEO of the Professional Services Council. Jim, it's great to have you on this morning.
Thank you, Terry. It's great to be on.
I want to start by taking a look back. You took over at PSC this spring. What has been the most surprising thing you've encountered in your first year on the job?
You know, it's hard not to look back on the first year and think of the disruption caused by the record-breaking shutdown as being, something very, honestly traumatic. And the fallout from Doge and the impact that has had, those two things, stand out as the biggest, opportunities and challenges to overcome. Certainly the shutdown and the duration of it was a surprise. I think everyone sort of expected 2 weeks out or 3 weeks out that it was going to happen. But, the fact that it lasted so long, in terms of, the wonderful surprise, it really has been the dedication of the companies that are members of PSC to fulfill the mission. I've spent my entire career in the government, with one stint in the private sector. And being able to work with these member companies, they truly feel that they are doing, the best work for and on behalf of the country. And the significance and seriousness with how they approach their job has been just a wonderful affirmation of the work that they're doing.
So, Jim, coming off of that, one of the things that happened just before the Senate left town was the confirmation of 97 more political appointees. And you've said this is really important to PSC and industry. Kind of walk us through what you're watching in terms of political confirmations.
Yeah, at the beginning of the administration, we did see members of the cabinet and the deputies confirmed very quickly and getting them through the process. And since then, it's been bogged down getting these assistant secretaries and a few deputy secretaries confirmed. What that means with getting 100 more people on the job is what you would expect. They're on the job. They're going to be the decision makers. And really, we're excited because we believe that things are going to start moving a lot faster. And we sincerely appreciate the willingness of those people that were willing to serve in an acting capacity. But those people, have some constraints on how they move, what decisions they can make. And now getting, the new political appointees, confirmees in, it means that they're really going to start moving faster. And we're hoping to be able to see more long range and not just some of the short-term things. So we're excited about that. We think it's in the best interest of everyone to get these folks onboarded and get them moving. And we are certainly going to take advantage of them and be coming to them to tell them exactly how, these things impact the industry and therefore impact the country.
I'm speaking with Jim Carroll. He's the CEO of the Professional Services Council. Jim, you mentioned up front the surprise around the government shutdown. Hopefully we won't have another here at the end of January. But what then are the contractors and your community expecting in terms of procurement momentum? Is it going to pick up from what we've seen?
Yes, we absolutely believe that. And I'm not as worried about the shutdown at the end of January as I was back in the fall. Hopefully you feel the same way, Terry. And I don't think either side won. I think both sides lost during that shutdown. And I'm hoping, and we're certainly telling people that is the situation. And so, with these people on board, there'll be renewed excitement. They are eager to get the job done. A lot of them have been waiting really a year, since they were announced by the president. And so they're going to be incredibly motivated to work and to get, decisions made and to get acquisitions going and really to sort of set the policy, for working with industry. And, we've heard from some of them already. We're looking forward to meeting with some of them as they get settled in and find their office. We will be, meeting with them and making sure that they understand the broad significance of what they're doing and letting them know we're a willing partner to achieve those objectives.
Jim, one of the big challenges for the government contractors in 2025 was just the delay in terms of invoices, the disruption in contracts, terminations. Are you expecting that these backlogged invoices and stalled new awards and recompetes are going to pick up speed?
Yes, we went in with some of our members to meet with the Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, and the White House counsel, and told them, and this was, while the shutdown was ongoing, that, we needed, once it ended, to be able to move on these. We have followed up with the White House, leading up to Christmas. The Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, was very receptive to it and was, we believe, to be really on message with this. And we talked about the communication and how to best achieve it through the departments and agencies. And so we're optimistic that, these invoices will be paid because this is work that has been done. And for these companies, for the most part, they have been paying their employees. Some sadly, had to put folks on the bench and furlough people temporarily, but a lot of them kept working, did what they needed to do, and now there's cash flow issues for some of these companies. That's where we're pressing on to the White House. That's what we're talking about with the members of the cabinet, on some of the issues, is to get these invoices paid and get these companies up and running fully.
Well, speaking of paying, one of the few agencies that has a significant appropriation is Department of Defense. You've got a lot of your constituents, your member organizations in the defense sector. What's driving the agenda for defense in 2026?
Certainly the meeting that the president announced with the top defense contractors who are members of PSC, and is, that they do want to contain cost. What we're doing now is explaining that they are containing cost, and it's just like anything. Change orders, if you're building a home and submit a bunch of change orders while the contractor, is building your house, that costs extra money. So we're explaining the same thing is happening with government contracts, that the procurement process can be streamlined. Can be a focus more on deliverables as opposed to, some of the really issues of the contract that have no impact. We're seeing some of the smaller things that companies were going to certain sections within the Department of War and saying, hey, we have a new way to do things. We can do this in a more efficient way and deliver results faster. We're going to use, maybe it's AI, which obviously is going to be a continuing a big issue in 26. And we can reduce the number of people that we have in seats, by 20% or 30%. And the department would say, no, we contracted for, 90 or 100 people, and we want 90 and 100 people sitting in seats. And without really sort of focusing that we can deliver better, faster, cheaper results if we amend the contract. And so it's some of that we think we're going to be able to overcome because the Secretary Hegseth and the White House has been so focused on getting the results that if we can work together with these new folks that have been confirmed as new 97 people, not all of it in the department, some are in the department, some other in other key departments where we work, we really are optimistic that things are going to move much faster in 26.
Well, it sounds like with all of the new appointees and perhaps some stability in terms of funding, that you're hoping that 2026 is a more predictable year for government contractors. What exactly is PSC going to be focused on as you look into the new year?
Yeah, what we're doing really is focusing on meeting with not only the people that are just confirmed, as I said, a lot of these assistant secretaries, but now, that things are a little more predictable, we're going in and we bring our members with us. It is important that, that our CEOs, our, significant C-suite executives are with us when we're going in to meet with members of the cabinet. And truly, we're meeting with, setting up meetings with secretaries and other key decision makers, so that they can hear from us. And when I say us, I'm talking about the industry, about how to achieve the results that they want in 2026. And so that's one of the things that we're doing is now that there are more people in place, now that they want direction and want results, we are going in with our members and we are absolutely going to be leaning into explaining to them the best way we can help drive the objectives that they want.
Been speaking with Jim Carroll. He's the CEO of the Professional Services Council. Jim, thanks as always for joining us, and we'll hope it's a happy new year.
Same to you. We are looking forward to 2026.
We'll post this interview at federalnewsnetwork.com/Federal Drive. Subscribe to the Federal Drive wherever you get your podcasts.